Hi, this is 365801 and this is another Year in BL review video, and this is all about completing my BL collections. So this is another review video, and in this one I'm looking at what I am bringing into my collection and analysing the numbers, if I'm starting series, completing series, which publisher I'm bringing in the most of, and often it's looking at if I'm completing out of print publishers and things like that as well. Last year I got halfway through editing video then unfortunately did not finish, so I could still complete that. I might end up doing that maybe in March or April, just for fun, and put it up on my Patreon as a little extra, because technically they really should have got it. I did half of the editing last year, so yeah, I kind of feel bad about that. I hope to be able to add in last year's information into this video, because I do have a tendency to compare and contrast previous years, and I have many years worth of data to compare and contrast. If you would like, please do check out previous years completing BL collection videos. They are quite fun to watch and look back on in terms of what I was bringing in, but also listening to myself is kind of cringe. But you know, it's freeing at the same time. So yeah, if you would like to know what kind of things I think about as a collector, about what I'm bringing into my collection and what I specifically brought in 2025, this is the video for you. If you enjoy it, please do give it a like, consider subscribing, so let's just get into it. Now usually I do organize this video by publisher, and we usually do it by descending order. So the publisher that I have purchased the most of, and that has changed throughout the years, I do know who was the most I bought from last year, so I can always compare and contrast it. So I know what order they would have been in, and I also know what order I'm going in this year as well, obviously. So we are going to start with the publisher that I purchased the most from. It would be great if you like guessed and see which one is next. But yeah, the first one is, so a drum roll please. It will be probably no surprise. It is Seven Seas Entertainment, which is the same as last year. Obviously you haven't seen the video because I didn't finish it, but it was the highest ranked of the publishers from last year as well. When I picked up 51 volumes, the year before that I think it was 46. So progressively we're getting more and more volumes, which is incredible, because in 2022 I only bought 4 volumes from Seven Seas. From 2022, 4 volumes, to 2025, 84 volumes. An increase of 80 volumes. I am astounded. The fact that I can't even put them all on this little table. Like, this is where I usually film. It's where I've traditionally filmed a lot of my videos. It's just a little side table, and I cannot put them all on at the same time. I'm afraid for the integrity of my little side table if I put all 84 volumes on, because there are prose, which with a wee bit of a breakdown, I've got 27 volumes of prose. So we've got some light novels and some danme. We've got 20 volumes of manhwa, or web comics, that kind of thing. So I have divided them up into that, and then onto the manga, and I've got 36 volumes of manga as well. So in total that makes 84. I have never purchased 84 volumes in a year. I mean, in some years, if I look back previous years, that's pretty much the sum, the grand total of everything that I would have purchased in a year. In fact, 84 might be like the goal for the year. If I was only buying 7 volumes, yeah, 84 is what I would want to be buying. But I've bought 84 of just one publisher. I'm really feeling it. I'm feeling it now. I feel slightly ashamed. But when looking at it, I do have to say it's a bit of a reflection of how much 7Seas Entertainment has, I wouldn't even say cornered the market, saturated the market. There is a lot more BL being published now than there was, say, 5 years ago. So yeah, there's a lot more out there to buy. It's great, and I'm happy about it, because 5 years ago we were all screaming, when are we getting more BL? Now I'm like, please slow down the floodgates, close the floodgates. And it really does feel like that sometimes, especially if you're trying to keep up to date with things, and I just don't think I can, especially because I'm not reading. That's in the reading versus buying videos. But I'm not reading everything that I'm bringing in, which is not great. Anyway, we have some little numbers to go through. This is the structure of the video. We say what publisher is, what's the total, and then we look at series completed and series started. This was a little fun thing that got added in a couple of years ago. So in terms of completed, we have a grand total of 5 series completed. Not a lot. When it comes to the manga, it's Hatsukoi Note and Dictatorial Grimoire. And that's only because that's an omnibus, so it's got the full series in it. And I'm counting it. God damn it, I'm counting it. And I think Hatsukoi Note is only 2 volumes, but please correct me if I'm wrong. Take that little number away from me. If it's got more volumes, it is a lovely 2-volume series as far as I'm concerned. If there's more, I would take more, but I would feel bad that I haven't been able to complete another series. So yeah, there's a couple more. The other one from the webcomics that I completed is the Dangerous Convenience Store, and that's because I purchased the full complete set, volumes 1 through 6. I think volume 6 has the short stories and stuff in it, so hopefully we're not getting any more. And that is just one complete from the webcomics. On to the prose, and it wouldn't be too much of a surprise, but there's not many from there either. Guardian, I picked up volumes 2 and 3, and then a really strange one, which seems a bit odd, but Heaven Official's Blessing, volume 7. It was like one random volume that I was missing, and I picked it up very early on in 2025, and so that did complete a series as well. So yeah, only 5 completed series from 84 volumes. So you would think the number of series started is going to be pretty high, and it is. It's pretty high. It's 24. From the prose, I'm thinking it's like, oh, 1, 2, it's going to be a long video if I'm counting them all. Yeah, 11 of prose. I think I've organized it that way. I'm looking at it. So yeah, Keen Posh, Case File Compendium, Stars of Chaos, Ballad of Sword and Wine, Disabled Tyrant, Peerless, Remnants of Filth, Legend of Exorcism, Ding Hai Fusheng Records, Run Wild, Copper Coins. These are all new to the collection. I already had some Julia Richard. These are continuing the series. I already had some Thousand Autumns and some Husky. And these are also just continuing the collections. When it comes to the manhwa, I think I've got 5 that I'm just started. The Big Apple, I Ship My Rival and Me, Perfect Buddy, another Ding Hai Fusheng Records, and obviously I started the Dangerous Convenience Store, although technically I didn't, so that's only 4. Is it even less? It's 20. Yeah, it's 23. That's good. I'm happy. That's less. That's a number I want to be less. 23. Okay. So yeah, just those 4 then. The Big Apple, I Ship My Rival, Me, Perfect Buddy, and Ding Hai Fusheng Records. Those are the ones that started. Everything else there is just continuing the series, because technically, I did purchase volume 3 of the Dangerous Convenience Store from Amazon. And so I think that should count. Now, the kind of crazy thing is that from the manga, I only picked up 8 new series. So Hatsukoi no was also a new series. Like, I got it and I finished it. Same as Grimoire, Dictatorial Grimoire. That's another one. I've got Wild Roses and Pretenders, Stay By My Side After Rain, Yes, No, or Maybe. I think that's it for those ones on the large trim size because a lot of those above are one-shots, which I'm very happy with. I love a one-shot. And so if you go over to the other side, on the right, you can see Ramen Wolf and Curry Tiger at 2500 in Akasaka, Hate Me But Let Me Stay. And then I think all the rest are ones that I've already had some in my collection previously. So they're not new to the collection. They are series that I'd already started collecting. So yeah, 23 is the number. And then one of the things that I started 2 years ago was looking at my percentage of read rate for publishers, which I think is quite a good idea, but it does give me even more work to do when it comes to crunching the numbers. So I have to look at everything, and unfortunately, I have only read 20 volumes out of the 84, which gives me a read rate percentage of 23.8%. Just shy of 25%. When I think about that, I'm like, oh, that's not too bad. Yeah, in some respects, it's not too bad. How am I measuring this? I think it's pretty bad. Some of these I could definitely have read. One-shots I definitely could have read, but the thing is, a lot of the one-shots I have actually read. So anyhow, The Rabbit is Infatuated with the Puppy, I read that one, didn't really rate it. I started reading Love, a Kitten and a Salty Dog. I kind of got a bit bored and I put it down. No Spicy Romance Allowed, did not really enjoy that one. And Marriage to Kitsune-sama, a Home Run Ken one, I was really looking forward to. It was only okay. And the second alpha I did rate highly, but I also was not 100% impressed with. And even though it's a Scarlet Beriko, Nagahama to be or not to be, I thought it was okay. I know. Like, they're super cute, but in terms of an engaging story, I wasn't really all that engaged. Even the non-fiction My Brain is Different, I found it to be interesting enough, but not really as engaging as previously reading non-fiction ones. I thought it was okay. And that's a big issue if most of the things you're reading is just meh, it's okay. So yeah, there's been quite a lot of things read that were not, oh my god, 5 stars, incredible. And that's maybe telling about, quantity versus quality, or what I'm picking up. Maybe there's some amazing things out there. If I, have to at some point decide what I want to keep and what do I want to get rid of, there's quite a lot here. Like if if I had to move house and I had to pack up all my books, would I want to keep everything? And that's a question I'm really starting to ask now, because I have a huge giant wall of unread BL and I'm wondering, when am I going to get around to reading it? I've got to. Especially if you're bringing in 84 volumes and you're only reading 20 of them. 23, not even 24% of what you're bringing in, you're reading. So there are reasons, obviously, for not reading some things if you have a gap in your collection. For example, Delinquent Daddy and Tender Teacher, I've got a volume 2 and a volume 6. I could have read the volume 2, but I couldn't have read the volume 6. I don't have volume 5. So that's one of the issues. But I probably go through that a lot more in my buying versus reading videos. So yeah, check those out whenever, if they come out. So yeah, a lot to say about Seven Seas. It is the biggest one. It's a massive portion of my numbers in general. There's another maybe 200 or something. So it is a massive chunk of what I'm bringing. Almost a third of what I brought in 2025 was just Seven Seas. So it is a major contributor, and it has been for the past 3 years the number one spot. So yeah, let's move on to the next publisher. Moving on to the second place publisher, and for the third year in a row, 2023, 2024, and now 2025, we've got Tokyopop. I'm including my old Tokyopop along with it because I only picked up one volume of old Tokyopop. So yeah, this is Tokyopop in the second position for the third year in a row, which is really interesting. Considering my general feelings towards Tokyopop in the past, and They feel like they've kind of redeemed themselves in some way. I really do feel like they have taken over the June manga mantle of really flooding the market with a lot of individual titles. It used to be not so many series. They've got a lot more series out now, but it used to be a lot of one shots, and that is kind of represented here with what I have. So yeah, I have 47 volumes. That does also include my little one booklet that I have of the special. I did pre-order them two because for some reason, even though there's three of them, Blackwell's only let you pre-order two. And one of them just did not arrive, so I only got one. So yeah, it's a tiny little sliver next to the Lullaby of the Dawn. So yeah, I have 47 volumes. Two are actually prose, so Dinner for Three and My Beautiful Man Volume 1. I have two that are kind of like web comics, that's Star-Crossed and Captain Laserhawk. And I have obviously the one old one, which is Kyo Karamao Volume 2. Um, and that means 42 of them are like manga. So, I thought it would be interesting to look at how many of them are one shots and how many of them are part of series. Before we talk about the series completed. 16 of these are one shots. There is an abundance of one shots. They have published them for quite a few years now. So some of these are a little bit older, quite, a few years old, maybe 22, 23, that kind of age. And I'm only just picking them up now. So that's fine. I don't mind doing it as and when I can get these for a good price because Tokyopop are generally a little bit more expensive. And the stories are hit and miss. You never know what you're going to get. And yeah, so looking at the series in terms of how many I have completed in the year 2025, the number is 0. 0 completed. So all of the series that are here, that you can see, they're all either ongoing. I don't have them all. Yeah, I don't have a complete Tokyopop series. Isn't that shocking? I really do need to be a bit more focused. But because I only ever buy the Tokyopop titles as and when I can see them for good prices, it really is just hit and miss whether or not I'm gonna have a complete series at some point. The fact that I have 3 volumes of My Beautiful Man is astounding to me because I've picked them up just when I could get them. Like Lullaby of the Dawn, only when I could get them for good prices. So yeah, that's why there's gaps, lots of gaps when it comes to Tokyopop. So series started is a different matter. I have 9 series started. World's End Bluebird, Lullaby of the Dawn, My Beautiful Man, obviously, on that side. And then on the other side we've got Comic Party, Imitation Play, what else have we got? Oh, My Dear Agent. Technically I have volume 1 digitally, but I don't have a physical copy. So that's one that I just started, and obviously Star-Crossed as well. So there's a few there that I've started. But yeah, nowhere near completing any of these collections, which is shocking. It's pretty bad. Sometimes you do get the odd thing that comes out once I think I've got something completed, and it turns out I don't. There's just more things to come. Because I thought, I was utterly convinced that there was just 5 volumes of Lullaby of the Dawn, for whatever reason. And then volume 6 was announced, and I was like, oh, okay. So I felt a little bit better that I didn't have the volume 5 yet. Yeah, moving on to the read rate though, not so good. I have read 10 of these volumes. So Star-Crossed, Delivery for You, I'd read digitally anyway. The Gentle Noble Vacations recommendation. If you haven't already, check out the anime. It's very interesting and fun. It's just a gentle little adventure story. It's great. Cutover Criteria, Complicated Amiga Second Love, Be My Love My Lord. So yeah, not so many, just 10. Some of them I'd already read digitally, and so I was just picking them up because I saw them for good prices, even though I'd already read them. But that does mean my read rate is 21.3%, so even lower than the 7 Cs. I think, have I started as I'm meant to go on? I'm just slowly getting less and less. I'm sure there's going to be one that's going to have a really good percentage rate. But so far, the top two that I'm actually bringing in, I'm not reading very well. Although I have to say, I do look more fondly on the ones that I've read from Tokyo Pop than necessarily the ones that I've read, especially the one-shots. I loved Cut Over Criteria. I could read that right now. Really enjoyable. And The God and the Flightless Messenger, I enjoyed that one. So yeah, there are ones here that I've read that I feel are interesting, and yeah, they're hit and miss, but even if they're a miss, there is something about them that makes you want to talk about them. Like, Be My Love, My Lord was kind of like an exploration of class society. Yeah, we're talking about beastmen and aristocrats, and maybe like sub-dom kind of kinks in the bedroom versus what you present in society, and how you want things to be in your personal life versus your private life. I mean, it was an interesting, I mean, maybe I'm just reading too much into it. But I thought it was very interesting. A complicated Amiga second love, not exactly my favorite kind of story when someone's like memory goes. A bit was messy AF, which also made it entertaining. So yeah, not always the best, but sometimes really interesting. And I think I have to give that to Tokyopop. They are creating an interesting bibliography of work. It's an interesting one. So not always the best, but sometimes at least something to talk about. Like, what did you think of this? And it creates dialogue, and that creates community. So yeah, maybe I'm giving Tokyopop too much credit, but rein it in a little bit, especially because there is still at least 75% of this still to be read. Of course, once again, there might be gaps in series, like that Comic Party. Wonder Love is a volume 3. I don't have volume 1 or 2. I cannot read it. But there's plenty on this stack that I am perfectly capable of reading and I have not read. I already have volume 1 of Let's Eat Together. And there's Imitation Play, which is a volume 1. I've already read Never Let Go volume 1 too. So I could read volume 2, certainly. I've got volumes 1, 2, and 3 of My Beautiful Man. I've got 1 through 5 for Not So Lonely Planet Travel Guide. Lullaby of the Dawn, right there. So yeah, there's plenty that I could be reading and I'm not. And I'm just wondering why I haven't. So yeah, I'm gonna have to like interrogate why things aren't getting read, even though I'm looking at the stack right now and going, oh, I'd really like to sit down and read these. On to the third place publisher that I have, and it is Yen Press. For a while they were kind of neck and neck, Yen Press and Tokyopop. But Tokyopop just edged it out. With Yen Press, I've got 42 volumes here, with a little bit of a mixture. We've got 4 prose. You Can Have My Back Volume 3, some Hiranon Kagiura, The Lawyer of Shizuku, I still can't say that. Sleeps with a Wolf, and the Associate Professor Akira Takatsuki Volume 1. These are the 4 prose that I have, and the rest are all manga, except for, I would say, Cuckoo's 3, which is like a web comic that I've already read, and I was just picking up a physical copy of. Of the Yen Press, the majority of them are actually parts of series, and so we only have 6 one-shots if I do include the prose in there as well. So obviously The Lawyer is there, and Hiranon Kagiura, I think it's just a 1 volume prose, because there is a couple of volumes of Sasaki and Miyano, but I didn't pick up any last year. Then you've got The Cat Bar, which I think is just a one-shot, Cuckoo's 3, and Lethal Dose of Love, and secretly I've been suffering about being sexless. And I'm not too sure about Kind of a Wolf, because it is technically a one-shot, but it is a story that happens after, is it Fox Colour Days? No, I can't remember what it's called. Something about Fox. Something about a fox. Which I have read digitally, but I don't actually own a physical copy yet. So yeah, there are just a few one-shots. This is like the opposite, the antithesis of Tokyopop. This is majority series based for Yen Press. This is what I'm really picking up, is series, and series that I'm liking and enjoying. And that maybe shows in which how many I'm getting that are complete. Now it's not a huge number. Three I have completed, and I have them there. So School of Horns is a 2-volume series, and I picked up volume 1 and volume 2, so I did complete that one. Manner of Death volume 2 I picked up way back in January. I still haven't read it yet. And that is the second volume that I needed. Sotus, the volumes 1, 2, and 3 I got as a complete set, so that's it complete. One that is up to date is The Red Thread. I think there's at least 4 volumes out in Japan, and we've only got the first 2 from Yen Press. So sometimes they just automatically like leave a couple of years, and then all of a sudden you get the next volume of something. So I will talk about that. And I did think that I was complete with You Can Have My Back, volume 3, but it literally just got announced that there is a volume 4. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking. I thought, well, even on the back of that it says climax to the story, and I was like, okay, that must be the last volume then. No, turns out there's a 4th one. So I don't feel bad about just like jumping in and reading it now. I can probably read some. But yeah, I think it's May that it's coming out. But they say that it's May, and then it'll actually come out in September, because that's what happens. So yeah, there are some completed, some that I thought were completed that are not completed. But I am at least up to date. I'm up to date with The Red Thread. I'm up to date with White Cat's Revenge. And I'm up to date with, or at least I was up to date with the Other Worlds books, depending on the bean counter. Volume 6 has, I think, just come out, or is about to come out in the UK physically. I'm not sure if it is actually out in the UK. The digital one has been released. So yeah, I was up to date, which was good, especially for Other Worlds books. I mean, that's just, bean counter's just my jam. It's my jam. If you haven't already, go check out the anime of that one too. We are eating well just now. So yeah, let's go through some of the series that I have started though, and I have started 10 series. So there's quite a few that I was already collecting, so I feel like I'm just adding, which is pretty good. The ones that I've just started is Aka 13, which has been on my shopping list, my wish list, since I created my list way back in 2019 in my little pink book. So it's just been like something that has been simmering in the back of my mind, like if you can see any cheap volumes, pick them up. And they've not been cheap. So being able to get 3 and that means I can read them, it's pretty good. I'm happy about that. But yeah, what else did I get? Nomi and Shiba. I really enjoyed that first volume. It's really cool. Play It Cool, Guys. Senpai, This Can't Be Love. My Girlfriend's a Geek. Be My Worst Nightmare. Associate Professor Aki Takatsuki as manga form. And obviously as the prose as well. So yeah, we've got a few series started. How many have I read though? And actually, it's not too bad. Considering there's still a lot I can see there that I wanted to read, I read 15 volumes here. Even though there's still quite a lot that I still want to read that I haven't read out of the 42, that still gives me a pretty good percentage rate of 35.7. So far, Yen Press is actually probably the better publisher in terms of buying and reading, which, I'm not really surprised, because the things that are there that I have read I've really enjoyed. And I didn't include Kind of a Wolf, which I have technically read because I read the digital copy. So back on Fotekia. So yeah, it's kind of like, should really be a higher percentage. So yeah, there are a lot of things that I've been enjoying, like Minato's Laundromat. I can't read volume 4 and 5 because I don't have a volume 3. Be My Worst Nightmare, absolutely loved. There's a few there that I'm thinking I could have read more of. The Sasaki Miyano and the Hiranon Kagiura, I've just really been enjoying a lot of. Is that all I bought this year for Sasaki Miyano? I thought I'd purchased more. But yeah, they were really enjoyable to just sit and kind of binge the series, or like 4 or 5 volumes. Just felt really nice. And I did read a lot of these ones during my 801 readathon. and I had a good time. So yeah, Yen Press is impressive to me. There's a lot here that I still have a lot of desire to read, and I think I'm probably going to enjoy. So maybe Yen Press is the publisher that I should maybe focus on a little bit more in terms of picking up, especially when there are gaps, because everything I see here is things I enjoy. Moving on to the fourth place publisher, and that is Sublime Manga. Unfortunately, Sublime have dropped again to fourth place. Yen Press have taken their spot. They've swapped around compared to last year. Sublime Manga, though, I have gradually got more and more each year. I think it was like 24 or 28 in 2023, and I think it was like 19 or 15 or something the year before. Last year it was 34 volumes, and this year it's 38. So I keep buying more Sublime, but it's still dropping down the order. And I honestly could not have bought any more volumes if I tried. I am 100% up to date with Sublime, or at least I was in 2025. The 2 volumes that did come out at the end of the year, they did not arrive until like the first week of January, and that's just because that's how long it took the publishers and the distributors in the UK to post out to me. Obviously, I think the snow that we got at New Year made a bit of a difference as well. So maybe I would have got it at the end of the year. But yeah, it's as much as I could possibly get, and I did then end up having everything that was published in 2025. So my goal in 2026 is to end 2026 with at least everything that is published up until like the last couple of weeks in December, because we never know when we're going to get it in the UK. So yeah, 38, quite a lot. And when it comes to just looking at one shots, because I have been looking at one shots, there's like only 2. There's only 2 one shots here. Almost everything is part of a series, and I do think that's one of the issues with Sublime, is that so many of their publication slots is taken up by series that could be long running, or should we don't know when they get picked up how long they are actually going to be. The World's Greatest First Love right there is just taking up one slot, and it's constantly going to be. Finder is taking up a slot, and it's constantly going to be. So some of these smaller series that they've been picking up recently is probably a good thing. It's a good thing for me as well, because it means that my series completed stat looks fairly healthy. We've got 7 completed series. So there you go. My Dearest Patrolman, Stigmata Love Bites, Palace of the Amiga. They are all completed. But we also have Crimson Spell, Given. They are now completed, which is really good. But Someday I'll Fall for You and Worst Soulmate Ever. It's the other 2 on the other side. So not too many, but it's good to know that these small 2-volume series kind of count for them. I'm going to count Someday I'll Fall for You, just purely because I know there are more volumes, but I'm not 100% sure if Sublime are going to be publishing them. So yeah, series started. Again, My Dearest Patrolman, Stigmata Love Bites, Pals of the Amiga. We also got Worst Soulmate Ever and Someday I'll Fall for You. But we also have some other ones. A Man Who Defies the World of BL, Ask and You Will Receive, Sleeping on Paper Boats. We also have Pink Heart Jam Beat. I think most of the other ones are ones that are continuing, or I'm at least, I can at least say I'm up to date with everything, which is pretty amazing. I've not been able to say that with everything to do with Sublime for quite some time. So yeah, this is a really good feeling. I really love this feeling, actually, being up to date with a publisher where you're just like, for now, I suppose I'm only a couple of volumes behind. But yeah, I'm going to wait until the next Sci-Fi 10% or Sublime manga discount and just do a big order. I've done it twice in 2025, where I've done 2 big Sci-Fi or Sublime manga orders, and I kind of feel great. It's like Christmas, and they all come, and I'm just excited. So yeah, starting 9 new series. But completing 7 means that's only 2 new series, really. And I think that's okay. But how many of these are I actually reading? And I used to have a really high percentage rate for Sublime manga because most of the stuff I would actually have read. And I still think I do have, but this year, with the amount that I've added, with 38 volumes, which is by far the biggest number, I've not been reading them and I've not been prioritizing them, even though they generally are ones that I would normally prioritize. So I don't really have too much of an excuse for not reading a lot of these. And I've only read 8. Isn't that shocking? And the thing is, the ones that I've read, absolutely fucking loved. Absolutely loved. Worst soulmate ever, and worst soulmate ever proposal. Probably one of the best things I read last year. Absolute favourite. An absolute fave. Someday I'll Fall for You, loved it. Takara's Treasure, loved it. Pink Heart Jam Beat, loved it. Don't Be Cruel Plus Plus, 3, loved it. Megumi and Tsugumi, Volume 5, loved it. And then that's kind of it. Kind of ends there. There's so many more volumes. The fact that there's Therapy Game Restart, and I'm just realising, oh, Volume 5's on one side. I was like, where's Volume 5? The fact that there's 3 volumes there that I've not read is a travesty. How come I have not read that? It's one of my favourites as well. So yeah, there's a lot here. So if you've got any that I should, what's your recommendation for Sublime? What's the one I should prioritise? Because honestly, all of these look like bangers. And the ones that are part of series that I've already read some volumes of, I know they're great. So yeah, I kind of feel like I need to prioritise some readathons or something like that to make it so that it's easy for me to get more of my reading done. But yeah, I read 8, which gives me a 21% reading rate, which is on a par with Tokyo Pop. So not the best, not the best. In fact, the worst so far. We shall see if anything else gets a worse score. But yeah, considering that every year for the last 3-4 years, the number of Sublime titles I've purchased has increased. I feel like next year, it's going to be a set number. Hopefully, it's going to be a set number. However many they publish, that's the number I want to buy. But if I factor that into the number that I want to purchase over the course of a year, or at least what my goal was previously, I'm wondering, how many more volumes I can get. So yeah, it's an interesting one. Sublime is like the epitome of a BL manga publisher for me. And I feel really good about being at this point in their bibliography. Is like making sure that I have all of their titles that they're producing. So yeah, feels good to be up to date to this extent. And we are moving on to the 5th placed publisher, and we have to congratulate Kodansha because they're going up in the world. The last 2 years running, 23 and 24, they were 6th on the list, and now they are up into the 5th place position. Woo! It feels odd to think about how the publishers have gone up and down, especially considering I do have more for Kodansha than previously. So maybe there's just they're producing more that I'm interested in. But yeah, we have 21 here for Kodansha. It is majority series though. We only have the 3 one-shots. Number Call, The Yearning Fox Lies in Wait. I've read both of those. And A Vampire in the Bathhouse, which I've not read yet. I really should have, because I did actually get a digital copy from NetGalley. And I now have a physical, so I have no excuse. It's a one-shot. Really should have read it. In terms of the series, though, have I actually completed any of them? And the only one I think I've completed is 2345 and 2345 RE by Ohana. I got a digital copy of the first volume, and I picked up the 2. I'm doing really well with 2-volume series. I gotta say, I'm doing well with them. So yeah, just the 1 completed, and unfortunately quite a lot of started series. So that does mean my ratio for Kodansha is pretty bad. We've got Reincarnated in a BL World of Big man boobs. Turns out my online friend is my real life boss. I cross-dressed for the IRL meetup. And then my noisy roommate and Keiyaku and how to deal when your intimidating neighbour is actually an amiga. I thought this was one shot. Turns out, no. When I looked into it, there are more volumes being produced in Japanese, so I'm sure we'll be getting them as well. So yeah, that is actually a series. I know, when you pick up the agony of when you pick up a one shot and it turns out it's a series, it does happen more often than not. In terms of how many I've read of this little dinky stack, it looks like a fairly good stack. If I'd got this any other year, I'd be like, wow, 21 volumes. But yeah, I read 7 of them, and that means I've got a 33.3%, well, 33333. It's like a full third I have read. And I feel like that's pretty good because so far, I've not had the best percentage other than Yen Press. So Yen Press is the only one that I have a slightly better percentage with. So yeah, I have read Reincarnated in a BL World, Number Call, Turns Out, My Online Friend, Cross Dress, The Yearning Fox Size and Weight, My Noisy Roommate, Volume 1, and 2345. So yeah. On the other side, you can see the ones that I have not read, so just slightly more, and that is Ten Dance Volume 7, because I have not read the rest of Ten Dance still, even with the drama coming out, which I have not watched yet, and I would like to. And then all those Keiyaku volumes, which I've just realised now 4 and 5 are in the wrong order. Oh, that's gonna bug me. Obviously, My Noisy Roommate Volume 2, why not? I've read Volume 1, it's right there. And then a few others there, like Descending Stories Volume 4, which is to plug in a gap, and then the next 2 volumes, 14 and 15, for Hichirijimi My Hero. Why am I still collecting this? I've not read the series. And also Volume 4, which is a duplicate, purely because my Volume 4 was just like half a centimetre shorter than the rest, and it was Doom and Nothing. So yeah, it's a little bit of a shame because there's so many there that I could be reading and I haven't been reading. And the ones that I have read, I really enjoyed. They've been so much fun. Like Nagisa Furuya, obviously. The Nomura one was a little bit disappointing, but it was Nomura and it still had lots of great things about it. And I did enjoy the Online Friend is My Real Life Boss actually quite a lot because I had a digital copy of Volume 1. So I just need to get Volume 3 and then I've got the whole story. So I really want to prioritise getting Volume 1 and 3. Or at least a Volume 3 so I can read it. I really enjoyed it. It was fun and it was cute and it was sweet. And it was, I don't know, like, just had a lovely vibe. It was about the vibes. And I kind of feel like a lot of the Kodansha titles are just about the vibes, but the vibes are immaculate. So I'm really happy with what I've got from Kodansha. I really do need to keep an eye out on what is actually being produced by Kodansha physically, because I think Kodansha's another one that I could maybe get up to date with a lot of their titles, because they don't actually produce a lot of straight BL, and they don't do a lot of slashable stuff either. Their stories are kind of gentle and nice, and I feel like they always give me access on NetGalley, and I read them and I enjoy them. So I should prioritize picking them up physically as a means of, making sure that I'm keeping up to date with them. I think I could do it. I think that's maybe the next easiest publisher for me to actually focus on in terms of getting up to date with. I think I could maybe do it. So yeah, that's one. Maybe Kodansha next year will be higher up and take fourth or third position. So we'll see. This is a really nice little stack, and I'm really happy with it. There's some titles there I still want to read, and I'm enjoying collecting. So we are moving on to the 6th one in the list, and it's a little dinky pile, but it is actually like the last of the ones that have a little bit more than just one or two, and that is June Manga. And this is kind of an interesting one. I felt like maybe even last year I was feeling like we were coming to the end of like, is it out of print? Is it not? This is for 2025 a big year for, is this publisher defunct now? And that's the big question. Do I count this as a defunct publisher, or is it still going to be producing things? And that's a big question that I don't think anyone really has 100% of an answer for. Is California tax the thing that's finally done them in? I don't know. And so it's kind of still up in the air of whether or not I can say that this is a complete publisher, but at least it's an up-to-date publisher. And I feel like I have to take that as another win, just in the same way that Sublime is an up-to-date publisher. June Manga is an up-to-date publisher. Not June Manga when it comes to the yaoi novels. I've still got a couple more to get. But yeah, everything that is published in manga format by June, I now have. So I feel very good about this. This is a big deal for me. So yeah, I picked up for June, or June, I don't really know. I still don't know. It has the A signed, so anyway. 9 volumes, although one of them is a duplicate. 3 of these are one-shots, which includes The Duplicate, No Touching at All, and Black Eagle in the Sahara, which was the most expensive thing that I bought in the year. It is the number one most expensive thing. But yeah, the No Touching at All, these are the second edition volumes. So I now have 2 copies of the second edition. And I'm not really sure if I count this as being read or not, because I've read No Touching at All, but I haven't read this version of it. So I kind of feel like I should say that I haven't read this one. Anyway, 3 one-shots. When it comes to the series, though, we have 2 that are completed. That is Pure Love's Sexy Time, and also Only the Ring Finger Knows, which is the yaoi novel. This is a 5-volume series, and volume 4 is ridiculously expensive. And I got this for less than £8, £7 something. What? So this, right next to the Black Eagle and Sahara, is probably one of the best things I've bought in 2025. It's like right up there. Like, I was sitting apoplectic when I spotted it, and I think I was opposite my mum or my sister. I can't remember which one it was, because literally I was just like, oh, 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 oh. As soon as I saw the listing, I was like, I went nuts. I was like, bye, 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 bye. And I hadn't felt that in a long time. Like the rush of buying an out of print title that you've wanted for ages for a good price. Not even a good price, like an amazing price. Like, I cannot believe I got this. And there it's sitting on top of Black Eagle and Sahara that I paid like 30 something pounds for. And I'm probably gonna hate. Oh, but that's the joy of it. That's the joy of the out of print, hunt for titles. Sometimes you get like really excited about getting things. I haven't had that rush for quite some time, just because I haven't really been picking up things, and a lot of these were expensive because I needed to get them. Anyway, I have a lot to say about the J Manga titles. Anyway, 3 series were started, but are they going to be started, or are they finished? Like, is that them? I've got Pure Love Sexy Time, which, yes, that is in 2 volumes, but then there's Depth of Field Volume 1 and Romeo Volume 1, and they're all Volume 1s that, like, I don't know if we're going to get Volume 2s of. So, is this classed as the start of a series if there's no continuation of the series in English? Unless there's like a license save, which I don't see happening. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame, really. I do have 2 duplicates in this pile, though. The other one there that I haven't mentioned is Twittering Birds, Never Fly, Volume 7. And yes, I already have Volume 7. I know. But this was like £4.55 and I just couldn't say no. Brand new, still in its plastic. So yeah, 2 completed, 3 started, and my reading rate for this is actually incredibly high. It's actually really good. If I don't count No Touching at All, which I don't think I should, because technically I haven't read this version of it. I read 5 volumes, which gives me a 55.5% read rate. So pretty high. If I do count No Touching at All, it actually gives me like because there's 2 volumes, it would be like a 77.7%, something like that. Absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, it would be a lot higher. So I'm gonna go with 5 volumes. I have read Romeo, Depth of Field, and I've read Pure Love Sexy Time, Volume 1 and 2 digitally. And I've read Twittering Birds Never Fly, Volume 7. So yeah, I feel like it's fine to say I haven't read No Touching at All. But the thing about this is it's still up in the air. Is this an out of print publisher? This is the point of these completing collections videos, is to say, wow, I completed a publisher, woo! And last year I didn't do the video, which is a shame, because I did have 2 out of print publishers. One was Yaoi Generation, which was just the 5 volumes, and that was all that they produced, and so that's what I got. And the other was Net Comics, which I'm not sure if they ever actually came out with a statement saying that they were now defunct as well as a physical publishing house, because technically they're still producing digital media. So yeah, it's a shame when you don't get great communication, but I suppose at the end of a business's life, the priority isn't necessarily to communicate to your customers. And that's why I have to say to Peach Flower House, well done and congratulations on doing it in a way that was shocking, and it was difficult for people who hadn't picked up the titles, but it was very well done that they were able to produce sales for digital products, and they were still able to see, we'll try and get you the physical products as much as still exists. So yeah, Peach Flower House really puts them into perspective that they did a good job. Whereas Junior Manga, I don't know, man. Is this me completed a publisher or not? I don't know. On to position number 7, which is for Kuma Publishing, which is a shame because they just got eked out of the place, mainly because I ended up with 2 copies of No Touching at All. Because I also got 8 volumes for Kuma. Of these 8, 3 are one-shots. We've got Wolf Pack by Billy Bali. Even if there's no Rainbow Tomorrow, Noriko Kihara, which I keep on having difficulty with knowing what the title is. And then A Ruthless Commander, and I think it's his Reincarnated Warhorse, which is such an interesting title. And I've not read any of those one-shots. In terms of the series, I have not completed a single series for Kuma. I'm not sure if I would be able to actually. Maybe they're still ongoing. But I have started to, and that's because I got Haberdashery Kinmokusei by Mamita, Volume 1. Volume 2, I'm not sure it is out. I'm not sure. And then Yoriko's Terano-kun and Kumasaki-kun. This, I thought, was a one-shot, because it looks like a one-shot, because there's no number 1 on it. But in Japanese, I think there's quite a few volumes. So yeah, this is 2 series that I have now started. I'm assuming eventually Kuma will publish them, because it's such good publication quality. I do recommend them. Interesting titles. But the problem is, have I actually read any of them? And I have read 1, only technically 1. Is that Canis one, which is the like the other version. I have the first imprint of it, like the first edition of it, and this is the second edition of it. And it was almost the exact same, except there was like an extra like sheet of paper, like a 4 yonkoma 4-panel comic at the end, and that was it. That was the only difference. And I read that, so I feel like I can count this as read. So yeah, I have a very bad read rate for this. at 12.5% with only one of them read. It's a shame though, because having gotten the Happy Crappy Life volumes, I can now read volume 1, 2, and 3. So they're good to go. And the one shots are 100% fine with them. And the other ones are volume 1s. So I literally have no excuse for not reading any of these in the year that I bought them. There is no excuse. None whatsoever. I have no excuse. It's a shame, especially because they all look really interesting and ones that I want to read, and ones that I planned to read. Like I really wanted to get Wolfpack for my Snake Across the Bookshelves for Halloween. I was really hoping I'd land on the bottom and I'd be like, yes, I'm having that. That's for my Halloween. So there was a few things that I was like, oh, I'll save that for this and I'll save that for that. And then I didn't get around to it. And I think that also shows my reading rate's pretty poor because I wasn't taking part in readathons as much. So yeah, that kind of thing is an issue. But only 8 volumes. From now we go even lower. On to a publisher I almost completely forgot about, and I often do forget about, is Square Enix. And I picked up 6 volumes from Square Enix. So not too many at all. When it comes to these, they're all from series, so no one-shots at all. Did I complete any? Yes, I did. Mobsters in Love, because I bought the full set 1, 2, and 3. I did complete this. This isn't one that I started though, because I had originally purchased volume 1. So I have 2 volume 1s. I have no idea where my other volume 1 is. Did I buy it? No, I definitely bought it, I think, in 2024. I don't think I bought it in 2025. Yep. So yeah, Mobsters in Love. But I did start Love in the Palm of His Hand. So I completed 1. And I started 1. And that's about it. My read rate though is pretty high though, because I did read Cherry Magic Volume 4. Why did I not read Volume 5? It's right there. Anyway, Love in the Palm of His Hand I have read as well, and Volume 1 of Mobsters in Love. So I have 3 out of the 6, which gives me a 50% read rate, which is pretty darn good for such a small publisher. Quite happy with this. I do think I should maybe prioritize this as well, just because they don't produce a lot. It's just that they're super expensive. Look at those Cherry Magics. They are thin as, but they are kind of pricey. And that is a long running series, so yeah. But they don't have a lot of titles that are purely BL, and I feel like it would be easier for me to keep up to date with them if that was the case. Especially because I have a complete series now. So we're moving on to position number 9 on the list, and it's a joint one. There's 3 different publishers because I have 4 volumes, and that means they've all got 4 volumes, and it's an interesting one. We're going to start with One Piece books, which I picked up 4, obviously. It is not starting a series and it's not completing a series. And also my read rate is pretty abysmal. I've read 1 volume here, but technically I haven't read that 1 volume because I read the other version of it. So I have a 0% read rate for this. The reason I have these copies are because a bizarre individual was very kind enough to send me some Kinokuniya versions of I Hear the Sunspot by Yuki Fumino. This is the 4 seasons section of this series, volumes 1, 2, and 3. I do have the just normal standard version of I Hear the Sunspot 4 seasons version 1 and the second volume 2, which I have not read. But I did not have a volume 3 yet, so yes, this is one that I'm very, very happy to have. They're fabulous. They look beautiful. The covers are really interesting and lovely, and I really want to just sit and binge this in a big reading everything that Bazaar sent me vlog, and I did start that in November and got waylaid very quickly with life, so I'm feeling like this is something that needs to happen in 2026. so I can read up to date. I know that the fourth volume is going to be coming out sometime in 2026, so that would be good to be able to get read up to date before that comes out. But yeah, One Piece books. Not a lot else to say about them, I'm afraid. On to Ice Press books, which you could say is part of Yen Press, but it does have its own imprint, and that's how I used to organize everything before, so I guess that's what we're doing. Yeah, 4 volumes for Ice Press. East Press? I don't know, please. I've heard people say Ice Press, so I'm going to go with that. But yeah, did I start a series? Yes. Did I complete a series? Yes. Have I read the series? No. I have read volume 1 digitally, so I have a 25% read rate for Ice Press, which is not brilliant because I think this is the complete series, so I should be able to just sit and binge the whole thing. I've got no excuses not to, especially because I did buy them quite a few months ago. So yeah, this is all I have to say about it. I did enjoy the first volume. It was kind of messy AF. It was like Red Thread of Fate type thing, fated kind of thing, but also it felt like there was something going on. So yeah, I've heard some mixed reviews about it, which means it's probably a bit divisive, which means it will probably be quite interesting. So yeah, I need to read this. And then on to the 4 volumes that are really important for me as a collector and mainly the reason for making this video, and that is the Be Beautifuls that I have. So of course I have 4 volumes here. One of them is a duplicate. It's the volume 5 of Embracing Love by Yoko Nita. And that was because my volume 5 that I did actually end up getting previously was quite sun bleached, and I wanted to see if I could get another copy. And it, I think, was the most expensive out of all 4 volumes, which is shocking because I didn't need to buy it. But yeah, so in terms of completing series, I didn't start any, so that's for sure. There's no starting, but completing series, I did complete Embracing Love, and I did complete Kizuna Bonds of Love. And so I have completed 2 series. I have not started any, and I think that might be like the first time so far in this video that I have completed more than I have started. And I feel like that's indicative of this. And that is because I have also completed this publisher. I can definitively say, not like the Juni manga, but I can definitively say that I have completed this publisher. I have all of the titles now, and I went out of my way to get them, just in the same way that for the Juni manga, I went out of my way, or previous years, last year, I went out of my way to get the net comics. So yeah, I went out of my way to make sure that I could get these, and I actually didn't pay too much more. They were a little bit more expensive, but it does mean that I have now got another out of print publisher for BL Manga. My read rate for this is an absolute big fat 0. Again, so yeah, not doing brilliantly on these 4 volumes publishers that I got, but I'm still really happy that this is completed now. I feel good about it. It's been a long time since like 2019 when I was like, finally you should really look into the really old ones and see if you can get them all and just, give yourself that challenge. It feels like this is the last of them. It really does feel with Juni manga and Be Beautiful now complete. It really does feel like the passing of the guard in a way. There's not that many old and outprint titles that I haven't gotten. There's a few still, but ones that were like on my list that I was really like wanting to get. So it was kind of momentous when I got these, and it does feel slightly sad in a way. As a collector, I probably don't talk about this a lot, but it feels like, you have this goal and you work towards it and you achieve it, and you should feel a huge sense of accomplishment or relief or something, but there's also that just sense of like you feel dead inside, like there's nothing. What was the point? That's the kind of thing you feel like, well, what was the point? Why do I feel like this? But then you look at the stuff and you're like, yeah, but you did really well. Good job. So this weird, it's like a whole range of emotions as a collector when you finally complete something. And yeah, this felt even more uh, like of nothingness because it was like the last of them, the last of the difficult ones to get. Um, Especially, you know, being in the UK, things are a little bit less available. So yeah, it's great. I'm really happy in a conscious way, but unconsciously, deep down, I'm not sure how I'm feeling. Um, yeah, kind of a little sad, if I'm honest. And if you're a collector and you have you ever felt that? Did you collect something and go, huh, right, okay, and not know how you felt about it? So yeah, this is an odd one emotionally, but I am consciously happy that I have completed Be Beautiful. Now we are on the last little stretch where we've got a couple more publishers that have more than one volume. And the first one is Aurora, and this is actually a shoujo imprint. That was the shoujo version of View, which I have already completed. And there were a couple apparently that had a bit of shonen ai-esque or some sort of slashable content, or they were in some way made by um, mangaka or authors that had previously done some work in the BL sphere, so tangentially related. So I did end up picking up this brand new publisher to me, two titles. One is Tengu Jin and the other is the Manzai Comics. One was more expensive than the other. So yeah, I have technically started two series, but yeah, this is all that was produced by Aurora. They did not publish anymore, so kind of completed them as well in a sense. And I have only read Tengu Jin, so I have a 50% read rate, which is certainly not too bad. I don't really have anything else to say about Aurora, except I haven't really looked into if there's any more titles that I might be interested in. I'll try and give the Manzai comics a bit of a read, and then I might just call it a day when it comes to this publisher. I'm not sure if I'm going to want to pick up any more of their titles. It doesn't really feel like it's adding to my BL collection in any way. And then on to one that I do think does add to my BL collection, even though these are not also supposed to be BL. Omnyoji and Tengu Eyes. I've had my eye on these for quite some time. This is a Cross Infinite publication. So these are prose. And I didn't even know this, but the fourth book is already out. I almost picked up a third volume as well. It was like £6, and I was like, oh, I'll buy that when I get home. And of course, it was sold by the time I got home. So they are around £12, £13, something like that. So I managed to pick these up for good prices. So yes, I have two volumes. I started a new series. I've not completed a new series, and I have a 0% read rate for these. So yeah, this is another publisher that I am now going to be trying to get. I have, as I said, had my eye on these for quite some time since G from G Reads. I read them and actually really enjoyed them. So yeah, I think you can see the artwork on the front. It looks very slashable, but apparently it is not BL, but it's just a little bit BL-ish. Now on to the single volume publishers. I have one Viz title, and that is To Strip the Flesh. So yeah, it's a one shot, so it's not anything to do with series, and I have not read it, so it's a 0% read rate. I've got nothing else to say about this. I was planning on reading it in October, and I did not. So unfortunately, this one is unread. But yeah, one Viz title. On to this one, which is a Dream Spinner title. This is the second Dream Spinner one that I've got, which is like a comic version of novels. So this is Tell Me It's Real by TJ Klune, art by Jackie. Yeah, it's not a part of a series. It's just a one shot. And I haven't read it, so I have a 0% read rate on this one as well. I might keep an eye out for some more of the Dream Spinner adaptations, just because they might be worth looking at, but I'm not entirely sure if I want to have these in my collection and make it a priority in any way. I also picked up one vertical title, and that is What Did You Eat Yesterday by Fumi Yoshinaga, and this is volume 21. It does create a gap in my series, so it's not like I could read it anyway, but I am super behind, so I really should prioritize reading the ones I have instead of picking up more. I kind of just decided to give this a bit of a break for a while and collecting it, and see if I would actually read them, and I haven't. So yeah, this is some that I just picked up because it was a good price. So yes, it's not starting a series, it's not completing a series, and I have not read it, so it's a 0% read rate on this vertical title, which is not great either. And another single volume. This is by First Second. And this is Fence Volume 6 Redemption. And I read this, I think, digitally before I even got a physical copy, and then I just read it again. So I have read it. It is not starting a series, it's not finishing a series, but I have 100% read rate. I knew there'd be one. I knew there'd be one. So yes, this is not even manga, it's not manhwa. It's a webcomic. It's not even well, is it a webcomic? It's not even, I don't think. But yeah, this is obviously C.S. Pacat and Joanna the Mad. And I really do enjoy it. If you like Haikyuu, but you'd wish it was just a little bit more gay, then this is 100% just a retelling of that story with fencing. And I do enjoy it, and I should probably look out for volume 7. Maybe it's already out, I don't know, I'll have to check. But yeah, this was good, and I read it, so 100% to me. Another single volume that I picked up, this is a prose. This is by Via Lactea. I think that's how you say Via Lactea. So yeah, it's not the start of a series, it's not the completion of a series, because it's a single one shot, and I have not read it, so it's a 0% read rate. I don't really have much else to say about this. I think it's to do with gaming, but that's about all I can glean from the cover. It looks super, super bright, like it's luminous, but it is not. It just, maybe the light's bouncing off it. But yeah, not read it yet. And the last of the single one-shots from publishers that I've already collected from, and this is a Rosemary publication. This is the volume that I got for a giveaway, and it's Drowning Sorrows in a Raging Fire, I think, volume 1 anyway. So yes, it is the start of a series. It is not the completion of a series, and I have not read it, so I have a 0% read rate on this one. Yeah, another Rosemary one to add to my list. Now on to the final single volume publishers that I have. And I have a really old one here, and this is a GoComi, and I don't think I own any GoComi. Now GoComi, I think, did produce some BL-esque titles or slashable titles, like almost like classics, but I don't think I'd ever be able to get any because these are really, really old. This is a duo brand. Now, if you know anything about me, you know that I have a thing with duo brand. Like I think the artwork on the front is very, very pretty, but I don't particularly think I like their works. But I don't know, because I've never actually managed to finish reading one. This is Cross Break Volume 1, so I do think there are more volumes. Whether or not I ever pick them up is another matter. So I know that Duo Brand is the kind of mangaka team, because it is more than one, that they would produce works that were kind of BL but kind of not. So you could kind of get away with saying they were BL-esque, but actually they weren't. So yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to continue collecting this or trying to get it, but it is from a publisher I've never had before. So this is kind of new to the collection. I have also not read this one, so it's a 0% read rate. I also managed to pick up in the giveaway this Ink Lore single volume of Heaven Official's Blessing, and this is like the comic version by Star Ember, and it looks absolutely stunning with stenciled edges and a hardback cover, so it's like really, really nice. I know that the second volume I think is going to be out in the UK, or maybe it's already out, that you can get. I'd like to probably get it from an actual bookshop because I'd want to make sure that it was really nicely wrapped up and looked after, or order it from places like Traveling Man, just to make sure that I'm getting it really, really nicely packaged. So yeah, this is very, very beautiful, and obviously the start of a series, not the completion of a series, and I have not actually read it yet. I have flicked through it quite a bit, but I haven't sat down and read it, so this is a 0% read rate for Inklore. And the final single volume to show, and the final thing to show for this completing collections, is a Manga Planet / Futekia title, and that is Let's Talk About Us. And this was very kindly gifted to me by Bizarre Individual. So I now officially have a new publisher to start collecting for. Unfortunately, it's very difficult to get. So I think the next time I want to go and do some bulk buying, I'm going to have to go over to America. But that's not something I'm really wanting to do anytime soon with the way that the world is at the moment. I'm thinking I might just hang fire. I'll hang fire. I'll just very, very gratefully accept this one volume and look longingly from afar of the many titles that they are now producing, which you can only really buy in Kinokuniya. So yeah, unfortunately. Unless I get a proxy buyer. But yes, Let's Talk About Us is one that was on Futekia originally, and they are publishing it through physical means now, and that's what they're going to be focusing on in the future. Fingers crossed at some point they do try and get a publisher or a distributor over in the UK, but the chances of that happening are quite low because I don't think they see Europe or the UK as a market that they're going to prioritize at all. They do have a European distributor or seller, and then they also have some sellers that do ship to the UK, but you've got to pay extra for shipping. So yeah. Let's Talk About Us is one that I'm looking forward to reading because I have not actually read it yet, so I've got a 0% read rate for this one. But I do think it is a one shot, so no information about the series. And yeah, that is the final volume added to my collection for 2025. So to finish off this video, I do usually put up the ones that I've started and the ones that I've completed. But the ones I've started is 71, and that's just too much to put on the wee table. And so, yeah, 71 series started, which just that number alone seems ridiculous. 71 different titles started, and then completed is only 22. So yeah, a bit of a gap, but still 22 series completed is quite good. So what you've got on the screen is the ones that I've actually started and completed in the year 2025, which I think is an interesting stat as well. I think there's 11 different series here, which is actually kind of comparable to previous years. It's usually around the 10, 11, 12 mark that I start and complete within a year, which is quite interesting that seems to stay the same no matter what. But I do have obviously a lot of new series started, only 22 completed. On the ones on the screen at the moment though, there are some that I have not even started reading yet, which is My Dearest Patrolman, and also Dictatorial Grimoire. Those ones I've not opened up yet or read a single volume of, along with Stigmata, Love Bites, and Palace of the Amiga. So these are ones that I need to read. Why did I buy them completed? I could just, there's no excuse, there's no reason for not And then there's some that I have read all of, which is Someday I'll Fall for You. Now, I know I'm including in this as a completed series, but that's because I don't know if Sublime have actually announced if they will publish the extra volumes. It's like a whole other kind of spin-off series with this couple. And then the other ones that I've completed is Worst Soulmate Ever. And obviously I've already read Pure Love Sexy Time. So I've read it a couple of times digitally because I bought the digital copies from June Manga. So yeah, having them physically, I've already read it. And Hatsukoi Note, volumes 1 and 2. I read those ones as well. I have also obviously read the first volume of School of Horns, the first volume of, what is it, 2345? I can't even read from here. And Tied to You, I've read the first volumes of, but I have not read the rest of them, even though I have them. So yes, I have no excuses for not having read all of this that's on the screen just now. But yeah, 11 different series started and completed, as far as I'm counting anyway. But yeah, 71 started seems utterly outrageous. It's a bit too big. And it does mean that in terms of ongoing, in terms of completing in the next year, in 2026, I feel like that's a bit of a challenge because 71 is just the number of series I've added to an already, I don't even know. And that's another question. How many series have I got in my collection that are ongoing or that I am ongoing collecting? You know, like maybe they have been completed, but I don't have all of the volumes. I'm trying to think of some. Obviously I cross-dressed for the IRL meetup and my online friend is my real life boss. Those are ones that are completed physically, but I don't have all of the volumes. But then there's ones that are ongoing. For example, is Sasaki Miyano finished or not? Is Cherry Magic finished or not? Is I Cannot Reach You finished or not? You know, so these are ones that are ongoing. I mean, The World's Greatest First Love. What is it, volume 19? But in Japan, what is it? Like 25? Maybe. Maybe. Oh, that does make me think I'd like to go to Japan because they're probably having like a 20 or 25-year anniversary or something of like cafes and stuff. And I would also much love to go to Japan right now and go to an anime cafe and just fully immerse myself in the experience of Shinjuku Nakamura. Oh, it was so much fun when I was there before. But yeah, some are ongoing and they're still ongoing, and they're still ongoing in Japan. So yeah, how many ongoing series and how many series do I still need to complete collecting in my BL collection as a whole right now is greater than 71, obviously. Or probably greater than 71. Sure, the 22 I have completed, so maybe some of those count. But I do think probably around that number is accurate. So I should do an audit of that. That should be something I do. Maybe in March or April when I'm a little bit over making all of these videos. But yeah, it's a question to answer for sure. And this is why I make these videos, and this is why I make the completing collection video specifically, is to kind of have a bit of an audit of the collection and see what I'm bringing in. So 84 volumes of Seven Seas. You know, for the last 3 years, Seven Seas has been the main contributor. And it is, it just feels like that's kind of an overwhelming number. But then I look at my unread shelf and I see so many June mangas that I've not read yet. And so it doesn't feel that bad. It doesn't feel that bad yet. It doesn't feel that bad yet. The accumulation of all of these June manga titles over the years have made it quite staggering. But yeah, this is an interesting one. I feel like it's interesting to see what ones I'm reading, which ones I'm not, how many I'm starting, how many one-shots, and obviously what the running order is of publishers. In terms of over the past few years, 2025, I feel like marks the end of an era. It marks the end of a process where there has been a switch from older out of print titles back in 2019, where there was a lot of them, and now there's a lot fewer, and I feel even more so that in 2026 that process will have been almost completed or finished. I'm not sure if I'm going to see June manga in being brought into the collection ever again. In terms of June or DMP as a publisher, I might try and pick up. I think I've got one volume that I would like to get for DMP, but there's also a couple of yaoi novels that would complete my yaoi novel collection. I know Kusabi obviously is always going to be something that I would try and get a full complete set of, and I don't have. But there's a couple more there as well. So in terms of out of print, what do I actually still want to get? Those are the only ones, really. There's maybe just a couple here and there, but honestly, with June manga finishing, with Be Beautiful, publisher complete, I don't know if there's much else out of print that I'm desperate to get. And that kind of feels a little sad because that it does feel like there's a passing of the guard there. It does feel like that process, that shift that's been happening for the last 5 years has now ended, and we are now fully in the new era. The new era of BL publishing, and there are new publishers that I don't have, and that's going to be difficult to get hold of for different reasons. Obviously the Vitekia one there, we've got Inklore. There's a new publisher as well. I don't even know the name of it. I've forgotten it completely. And they've started publishing. And then you've got Anime International as well, which I picked up a volume, was it last year? Mask Danshi, and I haven't got any of their other ones either. And so, yeah, there are new publishers coming out with BL. We've got a very healthy BL publishing industry. The digital industry, I'm not too sure about. I think that's another controversy for another video, possibly. But yeah, I feel like it's now the shift has happened. We are in the new age of BL in terms of my collecting and my collection as a whole. So yeah, it feels very different now than it did 5-6 years ago when I started making these videos about my collection in terms of what I was bringing in. And it has very much changed. And as you could probably tell for the last couple of months, especially, I was just looking at my January haul. If you haven't, go check that one out. It's very big, it's massive, but there's a lot of BL-esque things in it that aren't BL that I put off collecting because I was focusing on getting out of print ones, whereas now I'm like, yeah, I'll try and see if I can get that for a good price because it's something I'm interested in, but it's not technically BL. And so there's quite a few of those ones that I might be interested in. So yeah, if there's anything that you've never seen me bring into the collection and you think I should have, I would love for you to let me know in the comments down below. I hope you found this video interesting. Sorry, it was a bit of a chatty one at the end there, but I've enjoyed making this video, and I feel like it's good to look at what I'm bringing in and the percentages and the numbers and all that kind of stuff. So I find this really fascinating and interesting. Maybe you don't, that's totally fine. But if you did and you stuck to the end, thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. If you like this kind of video, be sure to subscribe. Give it a like, comment, share, all that good stuff. And yeah, take care guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!